not worn a ponytail in the longest time. Also, I know we usually say cozy reading vlog, but this genuinely is a very cozy, intimate, just me and you, cozy reading vlog. I'm super excited for it. The weather is beautiful today. Like, the sun is shining. It is gorgeous outside. We are officially done with the cold days. I do know that there's gonna be a little bit of wind, so it might feel colder than it actually is, but it's still beautiful, and I just wanna be outside. You forget how much you miss the warm weather when you don't have it for a long time. Now that we're officially done with the cold weather, I just could not be more happy that there's warmer weather outside. I didn't realize how much I felt like I was stuck inside every single day, so I'm just excited to get out there and to see what we can do today. I do know somebody is outside, making sure they're making the most noise. Hold on. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm super excited to go. It's beautiful outside, and I just want to buy some more books. Also, aren't I giving like the teddy bear aesthetic, all natural? The only reason why I have my shoes on the couch, by the way, because I never do this, is because these are new. These are new. Also, this is the tote for the day, which is so cute because it matches my sweater. And then it also kind of matches my phone. Look at that. We really are doing this monochromatic moment. I love it. But first, I feel it is my duty, nay, it is my honor, as a Spotify partner, to let you know about all the audiobooks I've absolutely been loving lately. Now, as you guys know, I already love Spotify. I literally use it all the time, way before they reached out to me. But now that I know they have audiobooks, y'all, it's been different for me. Just different. I literally feel like Thanos. I feel like I have the power of the world. Literally, they have over 250,000 audiobooks. Let that sink in, because that feels like I have a bookstore on my phone. That feels like a little bit too much power for me, and I accept. Because not only do they have all the authors that we already know and love, like Christina Lauren, R.F. Kuang, Abby Jimenez, literally everyone I'm obsessed with, but they also have a ton of new books that you can literally spend days scrolling through because they have over 250,000 books. Crazy. It's like literally crazy to me. I already know what some of you guys are gonna say. Audiobooks aren't like regular books. Baby, that's the point. Audiobooks are so incredible because of their versatility. Not only can you listen to audiobooks while you clean up, while you're working out, while driving, put your seatbelt on.
Retailers, they know how to set the scene.
But you can literally listen to so many more a lot faster than you could with traditional books. And for me personally, I have been obsessed with this one book that just came out. It's called Black Shield Maiden, and it's actually by Willow Smith, which is really cool. And you guys know how much I love science fiction, but I also love literary fiction. And this book does a great job of like combining both of those worlds. It's about this African warrior in the world of Vikings and how she just overcomes so many things. And it's just so unique and yet so close to the things that I already love that I have not been able to put it down. It's very interesting, and I honestly highly recommend that you give that book a try once you get your Spotify premium. All you have to do is use the links down below in my description box and start listening. All right, let's get back to the bookstore. That is my song! I'm so happy to be here. I know we were just here not that long ago, but this is the time to redeem ourselves because we had a really rough time last time. And I do have two specific books that I want in particular, but besides that, we're just going on vibes. If we see something, we feel it in here, we're gonna buy it. Let me tell you the two books that I want. Let me find it. The song is still stuck in my head. If we didn't have YouTube copyright, we would be jamming right now together. This is a song that I was listening to, by the way. So freaking good. Okay, I found the first book. Okay, the first book is The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. This is said screenshot. This is what we're getting. And then there are a few like other bookstagrammers and booktubers that I follow. By the way, follow me on Instagram if you're not already following me on Instagram. That have talked about the second book. And this book, it just sounds like me and you, ziz kind of book. Let me find it. That first book that I showed you is about being a creative and how you have to allow yourself to be a creative in a world that makes you feel a little bit more pessimistic about your artwork. So with that, I'm very excited to read it because one of my friends, Lynette Adkins actually, she was saying how this is a book that everyone should read if you're doing something creative or just non-conventional. And it just feels like the perfect book for me because sometimes I just feel like I'm in a slump. Like I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, or I just feel like, I don't know, maybe people don't want to watch what I'm doing, and you get in your head a lot. So if this book is going to help me with that, I definitely need it. The second book sounds so good. It's called Tuesdays with Maury. An old man, a young man, and life's greatest lesson is what the front says. Now, y'all know that sounds like my kind of book, and this is what the back says, or book description on Goodreads. It says, maybe it was a grandparent or a teacher or a colleague, someone older, patient, and wise who understood you when you were young and searching, and gave you sound advice to help you make your way through it. For Mitch Albom, that person was Maury Schwartz, his college professor from nearly 20 years ago. Maybe, like Mitch, you lost track of this mentor as you made your way, and the insights faded. Wouldn't you like to see that person again? Ask the bigger questions that still haunt you? Mitch Albom had that second chance. He rediscovered Maury in the last months of the older man's life. Knowing he was dying of ALS, I hate that, or motor neuron disease, Mitch visited Maury in his study every Tuesday, just as they used to back in college. They rekindled their relationship, turned it into a final class, lessons in how to live. This sounds like my kind of book. We have to get this. So let me screenshot that now. It has over 1 million ratings and it's at 4.17 stars on Goodreads. And I know with Goodreads, sometimes it's like a popularity contest, but also that description just sounds like my cup of tea. So we have to get that book and the other book. Besides that, I'm not in any other kind of particular mood. I'm not really looking for romance. We already have that for our spring TBR and they're going really well, by the way. So I'm not necessarily looking for that. We already have a ton of literary fiction, but you can never have enough. So I don't mind looking there either. I just want like the books to speak to me this time. Like I don't want to go in there only with a tunnel vision with what I want. I just want the books to come to me. You know what I mean? So very excited. Let's get the heck up out of here. Heck up out of here. That song is still stuck in my head. I'm so glad we parked away from people so I could dance. If y'all can't tell, I can actually dance. I'm just being modest. I'm just kidding. I can dance as well as I can sing.
so many good books. Look at this. We found the 2 that I was looking for. Then we also found a lot of other gems. So I'm excited. I think I'm going to do one more lap around and then we'll call it a day.
Miss when we're together. We are the dream team. Not only did I get the 2 books that I really wanted, but we also got a lot of like very different books this time. I think this is the most unique haul we'll ever have or ever have had, which is really cool. I'm like excited to read these books. But before we go through them, we do have to make a little pit stop because y'all remember those books I got from the library? These said books? Well, I didn't actually read any of them. To be fair though, I immediately started working on our spring TBR, so I was like putting in the Lord's work and just didn't get a chance to read these. But there is a silver lining. Because we got these from the library, I can just check them out again eventually when I'm ready to read them. So we're gonna go drop these off now, and I remember the names, I wrote all of them down, and we'll get to them when we get to them. I don't know what to tell you. Also, unfortunately, I did not see Victoria today. This is the first time I haven't seen her since I've been back. But it's okay because all of her other coworkers are like putting in the Lord's work too. They were really great today. They kept like asking me if I needed help, if I needed anything. And they're just like so nice. I just love it here. After I was able to like talk to the manager like a few months ago, I have not had an issue with filming because I don't know if you guys remember, but in my New York City bookstore vlog, I was just explaining how every time I come to the bookstore, I always have an issue. Someone always tells me that I cannot film. But y'all, it has been different and I love it. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that they give me this opportunity just to like make these videos better without having to worry about not being able to film. So I'm just super happy that went well. Now we have to do other things. Put on your seatbelts. 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 Stayed at the library longer, and I honestly wanted to go look at their books, but we can't do that because I already know right now we already have a TBR that we need to get through, and I'm tired of not getting through our TBR, so I definitely want to finish this next batch of books before we get more books from the library. I am super hungry and I can't decide if I want ramen or like a pliable situation. I love those things. They're so good. I never feel guilty about them and they're filling, so Which one should I do? I've been like craving ramen lately. Every weekend I'm like, let's go get some ramen. Let's go get some ramen. And I don't know if I should or not. I feel like I shouldn't because I just ate like a lot of heavy food yesterday. And I don't know, when I do that, it just makes me really tired. And I still have so much stuff to do today. So I think I'm gonna have a little bit of willpower and say no. And I think we'll just go get some pliable. This is my current read. I just started today. I just finished Just for the Summer, and it was so good. I related a little too much to the main character, but honestly, Abby Jimenez is that girl. I'm realizing she's one of my favorite romance readers, which is so exciting because I didn't feel like I had one before, but that book cemented it. That was delicious, but honestly, I low-key regret it because it is freezing outside now. The sun kind of went away for a little bit, and then with the wind, I was literally freezing, and that whole thing is like almost frozen. So now I have like a headache, but it's okay because it was good, it was worth it, but I'm ready to go home at this point. I kept trying to film, but every time I did, there was music blasting. So I would have gotten a copyright strike, and I was like, ugh! But it's fine. We're gonna decompress at home. We'll make it happen, but I wanted to talk to you guys outside. That was the whole point of today. And then there's music. And honestly, like, obviously it's not their fault. But I was just like, really, literally every time I went to go talk, like I was ready to talk, a new song would play. And I was just like, you know what? It's just not meant to be. It's fine. I really wish I could have read more outside, but literally everyone was out there. But I did get to read the first chapter, and so far I really like it. The girl is really quirky, and she's like super smart and has like a really cool best friend. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I feel like I can read this really fast. Enough of that. I do want to tell you what we got from Barnes. I'm literally so excited. All of these books are so unique. They're the exact kind of books that I love, and I had no idea that I would pick them up. So it just feels really like almost cosmic for me to get them. Because as soon as I saw them, I was like, yeah, you need to come home with me. So first things first are the books that I actually wanted to get, which is Tuesdays with Maury, as well as The Creative Act, A Way of Being. I honestly did not know this book was so thick, but I think the paper's just really thick. And the spacing is really big, so I don't think it's going to take me a long time to read, but I hope it's as good as everyone has said it was, because this little girl was like $30. It was a little expensive, so I'm hoping I get my money's worth. Then after that, okay, let me just start with the ones that I'm least excited about to the ones that I'm most excited about, even though I'm excited about all of them. It's all relative. So first up is The Last Animal. This was not on my radar whatsoever, but as I was in the store, it takes me a while when I go to Barnes because I do have to film for you guys. So it takes me like an hour minimum every time I go. And so while I was there, I just kept circling around and around. And the guy was like, oh, do you need any help? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Thank you, though. And then he was like, well, if you're interested in fiction, because I see that you keep going to fiction, and naturally I do just keep gravitating towards fiction. He was like, I've been recommending this book to everyone and everyone has loved it. And I was like, okay. And I read the back and it sounds so fun, so different from what I usually read, even though it is fiction. It just seems like super whimsical and adventurous. So this book is about a mom and her two daughters. She's like a paleontologist, so she's looking for artifacts and things like that, but I believe she's in Antarctica, and she brings her two daughters with her because her husband passed away, and so she's obviously just a single mom at this point. So the two girls just go explore the land while their mom is working, and they find a like woolly mammoth, but a baby one stuck in the ice, and so they like try to get it out, and it's alive apparently, and then they take care of it, and you just go through that adventure with them. So I'm like, this sounds so fun, so different. It's supposed to show the human imagination as well as human relationships. That's what the guy was telling me, and I was like, I'm sold. Also, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if anyone knows this movie from Netflix. It's super niche, but I loved it when I watched it. My brother showed me it actually, and I watch it from time to time. I think it's incredible. But this book, at least the synopsis, reminds me so much of like, I believe it's called Okja. And it's about this little girl on Netflix who, she lives in Korea. I believe it's Korea or a different country. Honestly, I can't remember. I'm sorry. But she like lives in the forest area. And it's in the future, it's based in the future, and she's taking care of this animal that was mutated specifically for humans to consume, because the demand for meat is still so high that we just didn't have any more normal animals, so they had to create this other animal. But she grew up with this animal her entire life. She's absolutely in love with this animal, and then the government tries to take it away from her because it was like the largest animal out of all the ones that they gave out, because they gave it out to a few people. And so she's trying to save her beloved animal because he's like a family member to her. And it's just like an insane, completely improbable but kind of probable scenario, and it just reminds me of this for some reason. So I'm hoping it stands up to that movie because I really love that movie. Let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about or if you've seen the movie. If not, I highly recommend it. It's just such a different kind of movie, but it's really good and it makes you think too. Next up is Everything I Know About Parties, Dates, Friends, Jobs, Life, and Love by Dolly Alderton. Now, this book is a book I always see at Barnes. Literally every single time I go for like the last year. It's kind of insane. And every time I go, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it next time. Oh, I already bought so many books. You know what? I'm gonna get it next time. And then I never do. And then the last time I was there, I was like, you know what, let me just read the back. And then I read the back and it sounded really good. But then I was like, oh, no, I'll get it next time. And then today, it was one of the first books that I saw and I was like, you know what, it's now or never, baby. Let's get this book. I've heard so many great things about it. It's actually a memoir, I believe. Yeah, a memoir. And it was a New York Times bestseller. So this is what the back says. When it comes to the trials and triumphs of becoming an adult, Dolly Alderton has seen and experienced it all. Everything I Know About Love is about bad dates, good friends, and above all else, realizing that you are enough. Wildly funny, occasionally heartbreaking, it's about growing up, growing older, and learning to navigate friends, jobs, loss, and romance along the way. Glittering with wit and insight, heart and humor, Dolly Alderton's memoir weaves together personal stories, satirical observations, and a series of lists, recipes, and other vignettes that will strike a chord of recognition with women of every age. Like Bridget Jones' diary, but all true, Everything I Know About Love captures early adulthood in all its terrifying and hopeful uncertainty. Because this is exactly where I am in my life, I'm like, baby, it's now or never. So I'm super excited to read this. It has wonderful, wonderful reviews. I've heard a few people that I actually really care about their opinion. They said that this was really good. So I definitely want to read this very soon. Hopefully in the summer, I'll read this one. And last but not least, I don't know why this book caught my eye, why I'm so excited to read it, but it just sounded like the perfect book for me. That book is Less by Andrew Greer. I never hear anyone talking about it, but I always see it as well. I feel like the last 3 times I've seen this book and I was like, wow. First of all, this cover is so freaking cool. Look at that. If this doesn't describe my life currently, I don't know what does. It just seems so relatable, but that's not what got me. It's also the back that got me. So this book is about a failed novelist who's about to turn 50 and he's getting invited to all these different weddings and things like that, and his partner he was going to marry, I think they were together for like 9 years, is actually marrying someone else. So he's like at the bottom of the bottom right now. He's not feeling great about his life whatsoever, but then he just goes on wild adventures around the world, just finding himself and finding like what it truly means to be successful in this life, what it truly means to have self-worth and all of these things. And it just sounds so wonderful. Like this back really got me. I don't know what it was, like it felt like a beacon of light was just shining down on this book and was telling me, girl, you need to read this. So I'm hoping it lives up to the hype that I put it on. I don't know why, it's like a feeling. And I feel like this has not happened to me since maybe like finding Eleanor Oliphant. For some reason, I knew that book was gonna be really good, and that's the exact same feeling I have about this. So I'm really hoping it lives up to the hype. I hope that I can like talk about it all day long the same way I do with Eleanor. And if it does, y'all will not hear the end of it. So those are the 5 books we got from Barnes. Honestly, this is a pretty light pile, I feel, but they're all gems. I feel like every single one of them is going to be very good, and they're all so different from each other. So I definitely want to read these very soon. Again, we still have our spring TBR. That's going wonderfully, by the way. So freaking good. Again, as I mentioned, I am a huge Abby Jimenez fan. I just know she can do romance now, and she's becoming an author where no matter what she puts out, baby, I'm gonna read it. So I'm very excited to continue that TBR, and these will be up next soon. Thank you guys so much for spending the day with me. I love you so much, and I'll definitely see you in the next video. Let's go. Now I gotta pretend, get myself together. What I do for you. I'm sweating. They said it was gonna be nice today and they lied. They lied. Oh, I need a little lotion. Can't let me go in there ashy. All right, now we're really ready.